Call this governing board meeting to order on Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024 at 5 p.m. in the Santa Cruz Valley Unified School District number 35, governing boardroom, district office 570, Camino Lito Galindo, Rio Rico, Arizona. Would you please stand for the pledge? Mr. Kramer?
Certainly. I
pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, board members, Ms. Lourdes Vasquez.
Present.
Mrs. Susan Fobian.
Present.
Joe Kramer.
I am here.
Mr. Rene Ramirez.
Here.
And Mr. Brad Beach, present. We do have a forum. Adoption of the agenda.
Changes, thank you.
Okay, motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Subject C, call to the public.
No call to the public.
Okay, moving on to executive session. Subject A, county treasurer matters. Notice is hereby given to the general public that the governing board of Santa Cruz Valley Unified School District number 35 may vote to hold an executive session for discussion or consultation for legal advice with its attorneys and for discussion or consultation with its attorneys to consider its position and instruct its attorneys regarding county treasurer's litigation and related matters. Motion to convene to executive session in room 125.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries.
Sorry.
Background.
Sunset.
Okay, let's go ahead and a motion to reconvene to regular session, Santa Cruz Valley Unified School District number 35, governing boardroom.
So moved.
Second.
And motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All the opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. We're gonna realign the agenda and go ahead and go to the consent agenda. Last page.
Isn't that a motion?
Yes, motion, we have motion to adjust the agenda.
Motion to adjust the agenda to move number 6, the consent agenda. In front of, where we on? Liberty Utilities.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. So the consent agenda. Any matter on the consent agenda will be removed from the consent agenda and discussed as a regular agenda item upon the request of any board member. Does any board member have anything removed? Ms. Hogan?
No.
Francis?
None, thank you.
Mr. Kramer? No. Remember? Sir. Motion to approve consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Just to make everybody aware that the reason this is so that we can release the principals.
It's gonna be a long one.
Yeah.
No further discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Be the same.
And principals, if you guys wanna, it's gonna be a long one tonight, so you guys feel free to leave.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you guys for everything you guys do.
Yep,
Thank you.
John. Good night, guys. See you. Appreciate it.
Fun. The meeting, guys. Thank you. We're still.
Sorry to do that.
You can stay if you want.
Thanks, guys, but they're in session.
Where's Joel going?
I don't know. They're also in session.
Mr. Kramer.
Just move on, Fran, if you're in session.
Mr. Fanny, you have to stay here.
I'm saying goodbye. We can still do things we've done when Mr. Fontes was a board member. We don't walk around, we continue going as is.
There you
Oh,
go.
okay.
Thank you, Mr. Kramer.
Just only Mr.
All right, here we go. Subject be Liberty Utilities, executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.0383 and 4. Notice is hereby given to the general public that the governing board of the Santa Cruz Valley Unified School District number 35 may vote to hold an executive session for discussion, consultation for legal advice with its attorneys and for discussion or consultation with its attorneys to consider its position and instructs its attorneys regarding Liberty Utilities Beardsley Water Corporation. Motion, the governing board's attorneys may participate in person, virtually, or by telephone. Motion to convene to executive session in room 125 conference room.
So moved.
Second.
Then motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries. And we are back in the.
Yeah.
Okay, motion to reconvene to regular session, Santa Cruz Valley Unified School District number 35 governing boardroom.
So move.
Second.
And a motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Subject C, update on school safety emergency management plan. This is also executive session pursuant to ARS.
Yes.
Thirty-eight 431.03A8. Notice is hereby given to the general public that the governing board of Santa Cruz Valley Unified School District number 35 may vote to hold an executive session for the purpose of discussion or consideration of matters relating to school safety operations or school safety plans or programs. The governing board's attorneys may participate in person, virtually, or by telephone. Motion to convene to the executive session in room 1225.
So moved.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries. We are back.
Sorry, guys.
I'm gonna head home. You know, my
Another session at the Santa Cruz Valley Unified School District number 35 governing board.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Information discussion action number one, subject A, county treasurer.
So the recommendation is to approve the motion to the common interest agreement.
Okay, motion to approve common interest agreement pertaining to county treasurer's litigation.
So moved.
Okay. And second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Subject B, Liberty Utilities.
No need for a motion on that.
Okay, no action taken. And the subject C, School Safety Emergency Management Plan.
We do have a presentation before the approval of the plans.
Okay.
No, we put it through. What did you think?
So, that's-
Oh.
And then just note that we will then ask for approval of the plans after the.
Right.
All right.
Mr. President and members of the board. I had to really watch my tongue on that one. Sorry, I'm used to a different form. So anyways, I want to just bring up a quick update on what has happened recently with our technology as it applies to safety and security. We currently have 130 cameras throughout the district that are working. Some of them do need some finessing, some adjusting, but they're working at this point. And then what site has how many cameras for security reasons, obviously, but we do have footage of all of our sites at this point and some remote sites like transportation and our kitchen and warehouse. So we moved up on that, and it's safe to say that we have basically resurrected those cameras. So we're working forward on getting those connected to other software and other programs for law enforcement to use as needed. Next slide, Audra. Profile restrictions. So what we did was we decided to restrict staff's profiles to the location that they're working at. So for example, if I'm assigned to Cuatimundi Middle School, I'm restricted to viewing only Cuatimundi. Right, there's other profiles out there, IT, mine, Dr. Lunderville's, Mr. Verdugo's, who have access to basically the whole camera system for obvious reasons, right, to review video and stuff like that. But we restricted those profiles, staff's profiles to the area that they work. It makes it easier. We want them to focus on what they need to focus. So we did that notification. The app for the Meraki system is on our phones. If need be, we can access video remotely. Download those, those, what have you. So that's fully functional at this point. If camera systems go down, site administrators, i.e. principals, vice principals would receive those alerts saying camera, whatever is down. I get those alerts, IT department gets those alerts, and we will work together to get those, come back online, which basically is just a quick reboot. So they're working fine as it is right now. And cameras will eventually be integrated into MutualLink, and I'll get into MutualLink in a little bit, so we all understand what it is and how beneficial it is for all of us at this point, so that law enforcement upon us issuing the rights, would be able to look at whatever's happening in an emergency situation. Next one, there you go. So what is Mutual Link? Basically software that has been provided by the state that connects us, the school district, to public safety. Whether it's fire, whether it's law enforcement, what have you. The software would connect our radio system. It also creates a intercommunication device, meaning you can talk on your phone. SO dispatch or even PD dispatch would be able to hear. And we basically mesh all those networks together. And coming from the law enforcement side, you don't know how difficult that is, at least on our end, because of encryption keys and stuff like that. Mutual Link has been able to basically bridge that gap. So it's something that I look really forward into working with. We do have some glitches that we need to work on firewalls and stuff like that, and we're progressively moving into that. Mutual Link also allows law enforcement, like I said, to get our radios, jump on the cameras, and easy access to our maps. So we are currently working on maps with camera locations, and once Mutual Link is 100% there, and we do activate an emergency, that information goes out to law enforcement or public safety, I should say. They hit camera number 1, they can see what's happening. None of this logging in or anything, boom, immediate access. And like I said, we can talk, which is 100, a large portion of it. We can actually talk in real time as to what's happening, eliminating a lot of that chaos that we tend to see and all that rhetoric and stuff like that. So that's going into that. And of course, it's got a messaging system as well. So we'd be able to message those messages to other sites saying, this is happening. These are your instructions, follow your plans. Next slide, please. Thank you. Radio network. Each school has their own designated frequency, which is fantastic. We also have one dedicated frequency that basically overrides all the frequencies. So if by chance we happen to have to, as an example, put every school shelter in place per se, we get on that frequency, we say, hey, I need everybody to go into shelter in place due to the weather, something as simple as that. And that's more common in the monsoon season as we start coming into the school year. So we do that and everybody hears it. And there's no need to fumble through the radio to try to figure out where I need to go. Everybody gets it. Hey, shelter in place. Now you work off of your frequency, make sure you follow the emergency plans. That will hopefully be adopted soon. We also have 5 talk around channels. So in case our repeater gets damaged, they can talk amongst themselves. It's got a limited area of connectivity, but they can still work around it. It beats cell phones because it's quicker, it's right there. We can work on that. We did trial and error, we did find a couple of limitations. We're working on a patch for that. We may explore a different repeater, an additional repeater. And the repeater basically is what pulls the chatter from the radio, bounces it off so everybody else can hear it. We do have a couple of dead spots within our footprint. And hopefully either at San Cayetano or Calabasas, we should be able to install that in the future once we get those specs in, cost, what have you, and we'll go through all the bids and all that good stuff. So that should patch the deficiencies we found, and it will amplify transportation as well. So they'll have more coverage as they're driving around, dropping off students or picking them up. So that's something really positive in the future. Next slide, Audra. Thank you. All right, keyless entry. We have a goal of January 2025. I'm expecting a phone call tomorrow to see where we're at. Some of the sites have them installed. We still have a couple things that we need to put together, gates and stuff like that. But at this point, I think we need to move forward, make sure that that goes operational ASAP. I've uploaded it on my phone. It's great to go to the school. I don't have keys. I just zap it, boom, and I'm in. So we're looking at that as to what would be better, more cost effective. The phone is 100% cost effective, of course, versus the key cards. Those can be expensive. The good thing about the keyless entry is we can lock it down, open it up, or omit anybody who has left the district for one reason or another. Completely lock everybody out. And that also gets incorporated into Mutual Link. So if law enforcement comes up to a locked door, hit a button and it opens it up. Now, these locks are not, these digital locks are not, or mechanical locks are not installed in every door. I mean, that's just the cost of that would be astronomical, but they are into the main entry areas to the rooms, pods, gates, or, you know, lobbies and stuff like that. So that's got a goal of January of 2025 to get done. And I think that's, oh no, so we got our plans that we talked in executive session, that'll be there. And one thing that I'm looking forward to in implementing more or using more is a Raptor app. It's an emergency management software. So if we're gonna do a fire drill, we should train with the tools that we have versus just trying to do paper and pencil. It tracks what we're doing. It gives us real life data for comparison from one scenario to the next. And that is in place right now, but we still need to bring in some more training for our site administrators who would be titled as incident commanders at the time, so they can initiate those drills or those actual emergencies, and we can track all that. And that by itself just blankets messages to everybody that needs to have that message. And it gives you real life information of what's happening, quashing that chaotic rhetoric that we get out there. So it's real live information that we're giving out. So that's it on my point, on my part. If the board has any questions.
Just real quick before we open up for questions, also just wanted to mention that Robert is also looking at the cameras that we do have and if we need any additions. So it's been, you know, as we go through, we find out, oh, this camera can't see this angle or this area. So there will be recommendations as we go through if there's any additional cameras or the sentry points that we need. So he's working on that as well. So I just want to make sure the board was aware of that.
Ms. Vasquez, you got it?
I thank you for the presentation. It's great. I mean, it's a lot of information. I'm really happy that we have it now and that it's in play and that it seems like it's really working. I mean, it's gonna be something that's, you know, what we need. We need to have our kids safe and our teachers and everybody that's inside the schools. Fantastic presentation.
We're still a little bit short.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. But you know what? We've got, the majority is already there. It's already in place. You have identified certain places that, you know, where we need more, and that's what we're getting there. And that's great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Mr. Kramer.
Thank you, Mr. Beach. Thank you, Roberto. Very good. Presented, certainly all the information you provided us. Hopefully that Robert knows who you are, because apparently he didn't know who you were for emergency lighting. So hopefully we've made that introduction to who's our guy that's the head of our facilities? Scott, sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, I even got it wrong. Hopefully you know who Scott is, because he didn't know who you were. So I just want to make sure that introduction has been made. Yes?
I want,
Oh,
sir.
okay.
Was me.
I just want,
Had met him multiple.
we had met already before.
Well, I know, but I asked that question and I was told no, so I wanted to clarify that. I did ask that, so
No,
that's one.
and we had met, sir, so yes, I apologize for it.
No, it's not on your end.
He was looking for Roberto, that's why.
There you go.
He was looking for.
Give us all right. It's all in, yeah. And the other one was, with that said, with the lighting, and now that we've gotten cameras, have we toned down a lot of the outside lighting? Because one of our friends up on the hills there said that they loved the fact that we had all the lights on during the night times. And if you drive coming back, if there's no game on, you look at Rio Rico High School and everything is lit up. All the lights are on the outside, not inside, but outside. Have we toned that down a bit now that we've gotten cameras? Because that's a question we've been asked for years, why there's so many lights on outside. Have we turned down some of these lighting or the lights on the outside because cameras obviously can pick up objects in the dark? I don't know if that's been discussed, but certainly I haven't driven this way. Maybe I should go up there right now and come back. But nevertheless, we would certainly, hopefully that's been toned down.
And I will look into that, Mr. Kramer, definitely, and get a response.
Not just at Rio Rico, only because you can see it on the interstate, but other schools as well, because those cameras are good cameras that can pick up objects without having so much light.
And one point I want to bring up though, Mr. Kramer, sorry if I interjected, is depending on the facility, there is, I don't want to use the word limited, a certain number of cameras that perhaps lighting does still work as a deterrent. So we will review both, compare and see what's a better option.
Since we were our utility rates have jacked up about 14%. It would behoove us not to look at that.
Absolutely.
Right. Thank you.
Mr. Ramirez.
Yeah, well, some of those, I'm not sure, I guess the question for the superintendent, some of those are also powered by solar, aren't they? So some of those lights.
I'm not aware. I know there are.
Some of the lights, do have a solar component when we made the switch years ago on the, outside lights, but.
But I appreciate
Nothing
that.
significant.
About that. But I just wanted to thank you, I think, doing a good job. I'm really happy with the cameras being actually, because it cuts down on a lot of nonsense. Really helps administrators a lot, cut down a lot of the nonsense. But as I've said to the superintendent and Dr. Lunderville, I'm very pleased that we've really cut out a lot of these knee-jerk reactions to things that juveniles do to turn our community upside down. I am so against that. I don't like that one kid wrests the control from the adults to upper how do we run our schools, and we have done a much better job of not having these crazy alarms that alarm the public, and as I've mentioned before, also set our parents into a state of panic, which is also not good. So I'm very pleased that we've done a much better job with credibility assessment and also being tough on the people whenever they do pull this kind of stuff on us, because those are the two key components of stopping this nonsense. And I've noticed that we don't have a rash of these things going on anymore. And it's, as the superintendent always says, it's perceptions are important. And so it makes our community and our district look good when we don't fall for that kind of stuff and allow juveniles to wrest, as I said, wrest the control from the adults. So I think we've done a much better job, and I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Robert, yeah, just real quick, at that, I'm gonna use the high school for an example. Who's watching the cameras? Like, who's in charge of that?
So right now, I typically have my cameras on at the high school because that's got 1,500 students, right, plus staff. That's usually running. Administration has theirs running, and I check and they log in every day. My lobby reception area, they log in every day. However, the goal at the high school is to, since we did amplify the security team, is to create what I want to call a mini dispatch center. I'm going back to my roots, popping up the TVs or monitors, plugging in the cameras, having somebody there reviewing video or footage, I should say, and not just the high school, but all the other sites, because that person would be assigned to that task for that day. And I know that when you're in a redundant position, you tend to, lag away or slack off. So we would be rotating them daily. With a manpower of 6 at the high school, we can absolutely do that. It would just be a matter of identifying the location, getting the technology components in place, and putting the manpower behind that. So we would have, per se, working hour vigilance through camera from the high school on all sites.
Yeah, I like that, cause right now the principals probably have a lot more going on than looking at a camera and the secretaries, but just in schools that I've worked with, they have monitors about the size of the television right there with the little, squares all the way through, camera 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down. Just food for thought. I think you're going in the right direction as far as having one central location, big screen, maybe each school has a different monitor, and maybe rotating the securities in and out of that position. But that's just something I heard that, the principals had sort of looking at the cameras, secretaries, but I know the principals, they probably, in reality, but I think if you went in that direction, it'd be the direction to go to.
Definitely so.
And in addition, Dr. Linderville, myself are also getting screens so that we will have them running through the sites and being able to see that well, so we can assist when we're able to, not that we'll be able to see it the whole time, but at least have an access to it.
It has helped us in a number of investigations as well. So I'm able to go back and see things that I also get an alert now if someone is moving in the pool, because it's a concern. It's a new place. It's you know, kids can jump the fence fairly easy if they really wanted to, so now it will alert me if, for example, if there's like the pool.
Awesome.
The CTE cameras for the new building, the new CTE building are up and running. I saw them today. That building is gonna open in the next couple of weeks and we already have the cameras working there.
Fantastic.
Good. Well, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing then.
Yes.
That's good.
And I would be one of those kids jumping the fence.
Oh, yeah. With the speed.
Just so you know that if we have a camera of you jumping in the.
In there.
He might, he does have a firearm, so I.
Back in the eighties, they didn't have cameras.
Well, I did it, he says.
Okay, motion to approve the emergency management plans as presented in executive session pursuant to ARS. Looks like 38-431.03A8.
So moved.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in
Thank you.
favor say.
Thank you. sir.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank
thank
you
you,
very
Robert.
much.
All
Appreciate
those in
it.
favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Mhm.
Ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, Robert, for the presentation.
Thompson.
All right, for presentation subject, A, construction update.
Yes, so we have Jennifer on virtually. Jennifer, you there?
I am here.
All right, thank you. All right, so we'll go ahead and turn it over to you for the construction update.
All right, good evening, Mr. Verdugo, members of the board. I'm here with the monthly construction update. Happy to report to you that the new CTE building is now complete. We completed the punch list a few weeks ago, and Building Excellence, it has been working on those. Really the only outstanding item to date of significance is the completion of the intercom system, which we are actively working on with the district's vendor to get that completed within the next week or so. So if you want to move to the next slide. Again, these photos are a couple, at least a week old from the punch list, but it gives you some ideas of what the final building looks like. This is a view from the fire access road, looking at the west side of the building. A little bit further away, this is actually a same photo from a couple weeks ago, but it shows the approach of that fire access road and kind of main pedestrian walk over across the south side of the field over to the building and new home side bleachers. Next slide. This is a view of the northeast corner of the building. Just showing the completed colors, this hardscape sidewalks around the building. You can see there on the left side of the photo, the scuppers and downspouts from the roof drainage that then will spill into riprap and under scupper sidewalks there, under sidewalk scuppers to drain out to the retention areas. And this is a photo of the northwest side of the building that is adjacent to the field and to the bleachers in that area, showing the new steps that lead up to the access to the restrooms there on the north side of the building, and then also the ramp that will connect the students to the circulation from the campus above. An aerial photo of the completed project. Again, you can see the roof, the colors, the units, and the drainage with the scuppers and riprap that bring it down to away from the building. It's just another view. This is a view from the rooftop, looking out over the field, and then you can see the sidewalk and the riprap areas down below to help mitigate some of the erosion around the area. This is a view of the interior, specifically the weight room area, or what we're calling the weight room. This will be kind of the PE space, I guess, that can be used down there, depending on what kind of equipment the district puts in there. It's a large open area that can be used for a variety of activities. The floor is like a rubber surfacing, so a little bit of give there if they want to do some light PE activities in that room. This is at the far end of that room. There is a drinking fountain with a bottle filler available for athletes that might be using that space. This is a photograph of the multi-purpose classroom area. This is the area that has 4 classrooms that can essentially be opened up to one large space. In 2 of the rooms, we have these retractable bleacher seating that's similar to what you all have in the performing arts area right now. So these seats can be retracted out to allow for more seating in the area in case you want to have teacher meetings or more, I guess, professional meetings rather than just having people sit in chairs or desks. And yeah, so you can see the ceilings. The operable partition is in the far background there. That's one of the partitions that's fully retracted into its pocket right now. But that does pull out and then create 4 classrooms in this area if they choose to use it that way. This is one of those banks of bleachers collapsed up against the wall. I think they were still doing kind of the final installation at the time of this photograph. Photograph of the men's locker room. So you can see the oversized lockers there, but can be used for football equipment, and then the fixed bench seating and the epoxy flooring that's on the ground in those locker rooms. This is a shot of one of the coaches' offices that's right adjacent to the locker room. As you can see the locker room through the vision window there. This coach's office has space for a desk, couple of desks for coaches, and then there's also a restroom for the coach that's attached to this office. And this is said restroom that's attached to the office. There's a shower that the coach can use, lockers for the coach, and then there's also, of course, a toilet and a sink. This is a shot of the restroom that is accessible both from the outside for the public and as well as has the interior door to the locker room, depending on how you guys want to use the restroom at that point in time. So this is a photograph of the lavatory area. And then kind of turning your to the side, on the other side, of course, this is the men's restroom. So we have 2 private stalls and 2 urinals. And this is the little vestibule that leads to the exterior. So we don't actually have mirrors over the sinks themselves. They are in this more open area by the door. And then this is the women's side, very similar. Again, the lavatories on the wall, and you can see the locker room beyond through that door. And on the other side is the 4 private toilet stalls, one being ADA accessible. Shot of the women's lockers. Again, you can see kind of the mix of full height lockers, half height lockers, and then we do have the ADA lockers as required by code noted, and then the benches. Some photographs of the more utility areas. Obviously, we need these to make the building work. So this is a photograph of the electrical room, so you can see the panels, and then the big red box is related to the fire alarm system. A little bit zoomed out view, more panels in that electrical room. The MDF room, this is where we have all the data racks and anything that IT needs to help kind of manage the building. And the fire riser room, again, required by code. This is where the fire riser comes into the building, and then the distribution throughout the building for fire sprinklers. This is some of the fire alarm panels in that fire riser room. The enunciator things like that. And the final photograph is just a picture of the restroom, the drinking fountain outside the exterior alcove to the entrance of the restrooms. So dual height drinking fountain with a bottle filler. And I think that is the last slide. Yes. So this project is officially complete. District can occupy at any time. So we've been coordinating with Dr. Lunderville on when that's going to happen. Like I said, we are still working through some intercom items. So once those are all done, then the building will be fully usable, ready. But like it is ready for occupancy now. We do have permits. And we are good to go. So any questions?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry. Hi, Lourdes Vasquez. I wanted to ask you about the men's restroom. If you can go back to the men's more. Yeah, I think it's one more. Okay. Those floors, are those done like that? There are cracks. I mean, I'm just looking at those cracks and it doesn't seem like they're finished. You know what I'm saying? Even the women's floor, look at the men's restroom.
Saw that too.
Yeah, there's several places where it looks like it's cracked. I mean, I know that sometimes you put lines and stuff, you know, where you add the concrete and all that stuff, but here it just looks like it's like they're not supposed to be there or they're, you know, and I'm just wondering if
There are some, yeah.
In the fire riser room too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some cracks in the floors. We have been monitoring those. This flooring in these bathrooms is what's called sealed concrete. It's not a fancy floor finish. It's just really kind of the concrete, and it's pretty basic condition, and then it's just sealed. So it gives it a little bit of a shine, a little bit of a polish there. We didn't have the epoxy that went into that area. One of the reasons why we do that is it's just budget. To do the epoxy or tile does cost more. So that's when you do sealed concrete, sometimes it doesn't look kind of as nice as the rest of the stuff. I do agree in that fire riser room, they had a kind of an odd finish going on in there. So I am follow up with the punch list to see what's going on. Did we
It's the next one.
did we ask them to make that more of a uniform finish in that room?
Other one.
Yeah. Like that one is like, doesn't look like it's really well finished. And the one before that also has some cracks. You see that? That one right there. You see, that one has some cracks.
Yeah, that's empty.
You see that one right there? It doesn't
Yeah.
seem like should be like that, you know, it's a brand new building. Why would it have cracks? I'm sorry, it's just, you know, it just looks like it's, you know, like a sore thumb right there. Everything else looks beautiful, okay? Everything else looks great. Those are the ones that just kind of, yeah, bother me. Okay, that's all I have to say. I don't know if we're gonna fix it or not.
Yeah.
Mr. Kramer,
No, I'm good. Thank you, Jennifer.
Mr. Ramirez.
Yeah, I noticed the same thing that she had. I wonder whether that's normal or not.
Jennifer, is that normal? As far as the one in the riser is concerned, it looks like the foundation actually cracked. It doesn't look like something superficial.
It's the MDF.
It is normal for concrete to crack. Yes, definitely. We can definitely look at this more to see how deep it is. Usually when concrete cracks, it cracks pretty soon after the concrete pour. So we can monitor them over time and see if they open up anymore. But it is pretty normal for concrete to crack. There is reinforcing in the slab, so it's kind of like, you never know if concrete's going to crack or not. It's a typical thing. It is something that we will definitely monitor. And then, like I mentioned, we made the choice to do the exposed concrete as a budgetary item. I can discuss with Dr. Lunderville if we do have some money left in contingency. You might remember this is a SFB funded project, so we are in the process of kind of closing those monies out. If you all decide that you'd rather come back and put a floor finish on top of some of these areas, that's something we can consider. But ultimately, yes, we will take I will touch base with the contractor tomorrow morning and ask them to kind of give me a status on these cracks and see, if sometimes it cracks and then it doesn't move anymore. It cracks and it's done. But a lot of times you don't see that because it's covered up with the carpet or the LVT or some other floor finish. I will follow up with that.
I know from experience that from people that have poured concrete that sometimes those things happen also because not enough cement was poured and it wasn't poured deep enough. So I'm just saying that, just throwing that out there.
Okay, anything else? We'll get back to it. No? Hi, Jennifer, and thank you for looking into that. Thank you for your presentation. Have a good night.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, subject B, grants update, Mr. Verdugo.
Thank you. So we have, Ms. Padilla and, the grants team here at this evening, to give an update on the grants. I know we've had it on our agenda. We'll go ahead and turn over to.
All right, good evening, Governing Board President, members of the board. I am here tonight with Carolina Duran, our grants coordinator. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Jimmy Navarro, our CTE director. And we're gonna give you an update on our grants allocation for fiscal year 25, as well as how are we spending those funds to support our programs and our needs. So these are, I believe there's 12 grants here that we're gonna provide the update on. So we're gonna jump right in first to thank you, the ESEA consolidated grants. These are the Elementary Secondary Education Act grants. We submit the application for these grants simultaneously. You'll know them as Title I, Title II, Title IV, and rural and low income. And the funding that we receive from these grants, we use that money to support our goals and action steps in our integrated action plan. So first up, and for each grant, we'll, just, I guess, review the purpose of that grant, such as Title I, ensuring that all children are meeting academic standards. And that one specifically is for reading and math, or ELA and math, I should say. We'll share the total allocation that we earned, that we have for that grant, and then how we are using those ones. So for Title I, a huge portion of that is on salaries and benefits. So really, the human capital that we have supporting our district. We have, for example, before and after school tutors at all of our sites, their benefits as well. K-5 reading intervention, we have 14 parapros in our district funded out of Title I. Also our summer reading program. We also have some TLA positions, instructional coaches, parent liaisons, Vento, homeless liaison coordinator, back to school blitz coordinator stipends. So a lot in terms of salaries and stipends there. We also have a professional development, and I did share exactly, what are those professional development opportunities. We have some digital licensing, specifically for K-8, we fund BrainPop, and that provides, it's a supplemental instructional tool for our teachers and students. And then at the high school level, that's how we pay for the Google Workspace for Education. It's a Google update, kind of like an upgrade for Google Classroom for our high school teachers. And then also supplies for our summer reading program that we have, and then the basic uniform needs for our students that are identified through McKinney-Vento. On the side of each grant, you'll also see our carryover, the year-to-date expenditures, and the encumbrances so far, so that you know where we're at. We also just received our initial funding mid to late September. For Title II focuses on improving teacher and principal quality through professional development. So again, we spend a portion of that on salaries and benefits for instructional coaches and then 2 TLA positions. Also licensing for Empower. It's a tool that we're piloting through the Marzano Academy evaluation tool. Also professional development, the qualified evaluator training for 3 administrators, and various conferences, the Aurora Symposium, which we have San Cayetano presenting at. So we're really proud to be presenting at the Aurora Symposium. Our coaches, we have cognitive coaching training for them, ChatGPT certification for 2 administrators, and then a couple conferences too that you just approved. So thank you for that. And then also supplies for teacher hiring or recruitment events. Next is Title IV. Title IV has 3 broad areas: healthy students, well-rounded students, and then the last category is STEM and use of technology. So again, you see salaries and benefits. These are for stipends such as for the mileage club, for our STEAM night coordinator, our Shack stipends, and one of our IT technicians is funded under Title IV. We also have supplies in there, Lego Education Spike Kits for our middle school STEM lab, and then our STEAM night supplies. So for those of you who attend our STEAM night, all of the interactivities that we have for our students who come to that, all of those materials are funded from our Title IV grant. And then we also have private school allocations in each of these grants as well, which we're obligated to provide for the private schools that our students. Rural and low income. This provides financial assistance to rural school districts to meet local needs. We're actually using our carryover money from last year because we're not eligible for rural and low income for fiscal year 25. And the eligibility is to be above the students who are ages 5 through 17 serviced by the district. More than 20% of them need to be below the poverty line. And we found out, I don't know, last April, we no longer qualified for that grant. I believe that was from the census data.
Yeah, and it really is due to minimum wage increase, and because the poverty level has not changed, but obviously the wage has increased.
So let's see, we also have, no, not yet. Okay, we also have our 21st Century grants at Mountain View and Rio Rico High School, and that is for before and after school tutoring for math and reading. In Title III, this is really supporting the educational outcomes of our English learners. Again, we have salaries and benefits. We also have substitute pay for when our teachers who are attending a conference funded by Title III, well, we need to pay for their substitute teacher. Also, we have professional development for a SIOP conference, for the OLS conference that's in Phoenix. And then also we have teachers who will be attending the TESOL conference in California. And then also supplies. We spend a significant amount of supplies for our classrooms serving English learners in the targeted ELD block, as well as in our secondary FBI classrooms. And then also supplies for family engagement. Next, we have the IDEA, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act grants, and this is really funding the salaries and benefits for our special education teachers and the instructional assistants. All right, I'm going to pass it over to Mr. Navarro to talk about CTE.
Okay. So for CTE, we manage 2 major grants. One is the 260, which is the Perkins, and the other one is the 400, which is the state priority, right? For that one, as you can see, we pay for teacher stipends and also CTSO memberships. For the CTSO memberships, it's transporting teachers and students to participate in the different student organizations. So, which that's a big component for students, right? And also, we also pay for conferences and general supplies such as the culinary arts and also the farm. That's a major one.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Another one is the Perkins. A couple of weeks ago, we discussed about doing enrollment. And I believe one of the board members asked a question, how our teachers benefit from this. From the Perkins, we provide dual enrollment stipends for those 3 teachers. One, it's engineering, culinary arts, and law and public safety. So teachers from CTE are being compensated for doing dual enrollment. So because that's an extra workload. And also from the Perkins, we provide promotional items. And most importantly, industry certifications. All CTE programs offer certifications such as OSHA, the Guard Card, among others, right? So that's provides direct employment certification. So that's what we use the 260. And the next ones, the Pima JTED is not considered a grant. This is funding through Pima JTED through the taxes and a percentage. And this is a more flexible funding that we get. And we use this money obviously to provide salaries for teachers. And most importantly, all the carry forward is used to upgrade all the classrooms and also incorporate new buildings as the one we have for next week on the 28th. And also with the Pima JTIP funding, the main idea is to buy the extra items that we're limited with our grants, which I mean, it's highly beneficial. And eventually I'm gonna meet with Dr. Landepil. So how can we purchase furniture for the new building using the Pima JTIP funding, because it's more flexible for us, right? And then finally, that's it right there. I think I wanted to continue.
Feel free. On a roll.
I wish I could have more money.
Definitely.
All right, and we also have the school safety grant, which provides the salaries and benefits for 5 of our school counselors. And then local county grants, robotics, that promotes STEM and careers in grades 3 through 5 at our elementary sites. Each of our elementary sites has a robotics program, and then they end up participating in that county competition. And then also Tecnologicas, and that's intended to increase the number of girls participating in STEM fields. Any questions on our grants update?
Ms. Vasquez?
No, thank you for the great presentation, you know, it's like, wow, we got a lot of things going on for our kids, and that's fantastic. Thank you.
Mr. Kramer?
Thank you, Mr. Beach. Let's see, what grants are we getting other than what we actually get issued to from all the feds and the state, because all this is what we qualify for? What are the grants that we're getting separate that we actually applied for? For instance, this board, we voted on back in February or March to go for the TSW grant. And I don't see that up there.
I don't have an update on TSW grant.
You know anything about?
So 90% of the grants that were discussed tonight are just strict allocations. They're not competitive grants. The 21st century, it is one that is competitive, but it's not a straight allocation, automatic allocation. The schools still need to apply for that one. Other than that, Mr. Kramer, the other one for the counselors is also one that is not just given to us. You have to go through an application.
Well,
We're the only 2. The rest are strict allocations that come to us.
well, other than the ones that we just put in application, because we're gonna get it because of our nature of our school system and all that. They asked us to fill that, I understand that. But again, what about the TSW grant?
We're still working on, I had the grants
You guys have
office.
the information to contact them, yes.
I know, yeah, Catalina has the phone number and we can contact them, but as of right now, we don't have the TSW grant.
We're still working on trying to pursue that. So that was the board's request. And so I've asked the grant to investigate that, and then we'll look at what the options would be. I mean, because it is a matching component. And so once we get that, and we've also looked at what avenue is, I think we're looking at the athletic management. That's probably that.
Right, what we had discussed on.
Yeah, and that's.
Again, I'm asking about the legwork.
Yeah.
And where we're at with that, because it's been 6 months.
The other two areas that have been brought to the attention of Ms. Duran have been the board's interest in solar energy for the district. That has been mentioned to Ms. Duran to start exploring opportunities in that area, as well as shade structures. So those are the other two areas that I discussed with Ms. Duran as areas of interest for the board to start looking at opportunities.
And I'm currently working on doing some research for a grant that it's out there, that it just opened the application for the structure, for the shade structures. It just opened this month, and hopefully we're gonna be able to meet the deadline for December 15 to apply for that for that grant. It's an $8,000 grant. But hopefully we can get some money for shade structures.
So Mr. Kramer, what I'll do is I'll put it on the agenda for our November to give you an update specifically on TSW.
Yeah, because I actually walked over. I did the legwork. I walked over and got the numbers. It's an FYI. When I was still working at Pima County a few months, anyway. And the other one was, well, yes, thank you for the shade structure stuff, because I know Mr. Verdugo, we had talked about that, and you said you reached out to, I believe, one of them came, Schneider.
Yep.
And how about the other two that possibly?
Verigy will be also, so I've had contact with them, and so they're going to, because there is a lot of opportunity. I know that Ms. Brown has had some conversation as well. Because there is a lot of interest in solar, and having the shade structure, so that's, and now that we're finalizing this last construction, that was, we had said that we wanted to finalize this, and then that's the next step is starting to pursue all of the solar and shade structure, because
I think there was another one too that I sent to Dr. Lunderville. So there's like 3 that we could reach out. Hopefully we do.
And the other that we've been working is transportation. I didn't see the transportation grant, but that's also one that we've had new buses and work with that as far as the white fleet as well. We've added additional white fleet with transportation grants.
How about the one that we saw at geez, I'm really tired. The July Conference for Business Officials, ASBO, thank you, Joel. Dr. Lunderville, I think we sent that information. I don't know, that gentleman said that it would be like 50, then we chatted with that guy. And he said his success rate was pretty good in Southern Arizona. Are we anywhere near any of that?
I have not.
Okay, because he had said that he was fairly successful in Southern Arizona, the ASBO conference that we.
Yeah, I remember. I know.
One of the gentlemen there said,
And what was that for?
for safety, more safety, it's safety additional upon what we're.
Safety, yeah, I mean, Robert has the information, but I don't think that we've moved past, aside from getting everything up and running, I have not directed him to do that.
Just think this presentation would have went really well if I wasn't here tonight. I'm sorry for the questions.
And
But any of these questions, it would have been all good, so I'm sorry for bringing that.
it's still all good, because I think those are things that we need to continue to look at, but I'll tell you, just there's obviously a lot of work, and that there needs to continue to explore different options and finding different opportunities.
Yeah, Mr. Ramirez.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm grateful that you guys looked into possible solar shade structures. That's really cool. Because obviously we need the shade down there, but I had a question for Mr. Navarro, which had to do with the dual enrollment stipends for the teachers, because there's no breakdown of that on here. Aren't they just getting the run of the mill stipend for doing that?
I have the number, I'm not shared that you guys apologize. For dual enrollment, we have 3 programs. One is the first one is culinary arts, and the second is $500 a year. On top of whatever the state provides, right? That's the side.
It's awesome.
The engineering is 500, and also the lump sum safety is 500 aside from the state, because the state has funding through a program that they provide that money directly to the district office and then eventually to the teacher.
Pima does that too, right?
There used to be PMA, but now they pay for them to get certified. Then there's additional, as the Pima presentation, the incentive for them really is, additional pay, but also their benefits of having, their family be able to get free credits from Pima and so forth.
Yeah, those are the benefits, the being part of Pima instructor, one of the benefits is some communication for your family members. And also including yourself. And then obviously being certified, you have an opportunity to teach for Pima during the night aside from the high school, which is another big benefit, which I can
They become adjuncts.
experience.
Okay. I had some other questions, but for the sake of time, because me is really getting long, I'll just go with Mr. Beach here. Thank you.
I got questions for you. How many students do we have going to Tucson?
Currently, we have 31 students. They have, they're attending different programs. I'm gonna say half, they're attending the LNA program. And the other are the BET. We have 7 students who want to be BET, and the rest will be, students taking the cosmetology program.
Okay.
And, I mean, in conjunction with the transportation department, we created a bus route. Actually, 3 bus routes, depending on the location, the times and the program, which that's been a great challenge. But I mean, honestly, like overall, Mr. Jimenez has worked with us on how to shorten the route, and attending those multiple locations.
So those 31 students, how much money is that we're losing to Pima, the county up there?
That's.
Because if they go to the Tucson school up there, they keep that money. We don't get the money, correct?
In a way.
It stays in Pima County? It doesn't come down?
It's aside from the high, it's just extra, and correct me if I'm wrong. This is,
And they attend at least 4 periods at our school.
Right.
Which makes them full ADM. Your question is whether or not, so we look at 2 things when we look at programs. We look at whether the cost effectiveness of LNA and CNA programs, you're probably aware,
Right, the LNA.
extremely expensive to house in-house. We also only can have a certain number of satellite programs. We're considered a satellite district. So when we look at those numbers, this year we have 31, but in prior years we would have 7, 3.
numbers went up.
Yeah, this year the numbers really went up for that specific program. So as we plan, we look at how much does it cost to have an LNA program or a CNA program as a satellite? And then you also have to factor in what's called saturation when you look at all the programs. And then we work out which ones are most cost effective, like the vet assistant program. Most people think because we have a ag farm that would be oh, just add it. It's not quite as simple as just doing that, because the district, we also have to look at how much the teacher costs, how much all those other pieces. So the programs they're attending that are satellite programs it's more cost effective to have them transported to those programs. In terms of ADM, I don't wanna give the wrong answer. So I would need to look back and ask, unless Isela knows the answer on how that ADM is calculated.
So JTED, students that participate in JTED programs generate 2 kinds of ADM funding for us. One is a regular ADM that goes into our operating fund. And that, as long as the student is engaged with us for 4 periods, it's a full-time student, therefore we get fully funded. That's M&O to the side. Then we have students that participate in CTE programs, and then they generate an additional ADM that is provided to us through an allocation from Pima JTED. So it is different. It's a different allocation for those that stay here in a satellite program versus those that go to directly at Pima JTED. So they are funded at different levels for those that travel to Tucson.
But we don't lose our ADM.
We do not lose, it has nothing to do with our ADM unless the students are not enrolled in
4 periods.
4 periods.
Yeah, so they are our students, and they usually leave around 1:30.
And as far as the transportation, our district pays for it, or does it come out of the
The
JTAG?
district pays using the JTED allocation that we receive.
And that's, so, just so the board is aware, so we've had a lot of conversations because the allocation that we've received has been, reduced by the JTED. And I recently sent a letter, along with other superintendents, 10 of it, requesting that the funds be restored to the previous levels. Because we are starting to see more of our students and we need that funding for transportation for other satellite things that we're utilizing and at the main campus.
All right.
And at the end of the day is the benefit that they get those certifications. And
That dual enrollment, that.
yeah, that's at the end of the day, yeah, it's costing the district, but the benefit is for the student who gets their LNA license, who gets their vet license or any cosmetology that is gonna cost them more once they graduate and they do that on their own.
That message is getting out to the community too.
It is.
Good for us.
Just FYI, I don't know if you're ever in contact with the LNA program in Nogales. If they don't fill their slot, you can send students down there instead of going to Tucson.
I was in a meeting a month ago and I addressed that question to Mr. Ms. Fuentes. And I said that if you have a space open, give it to us, but I mean, it's a different district. I don't see it coming, but obviously I will take it.
If it's offered.
And I think they have,
If it's, it will take it.
I think they have the firefighting.
Fire science, correct.
too. I don't know how many slots, but yeah, just food for that. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Megan.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Appreciate it.
Great presentation, guys. Thank you.
Mr. President, I was wondering if Mr. Fanning and Ms. Cabrera could go home. It's 7:40.
Hi, Papa John.
Did they have a presentation or?
They can tough it out.
Nah. You can do it.
All right, subject C, superintendent's report.
I think it was reached, just a few things. It's been a very busy, few weeks. Attended the, National ALIS Conference, Latin Administrator, which I presented and was very fortunate, to be part of the team that received the, State Affiliate of the Year award. So which was nice. And then, attended WestEd meeting last week, as well. I'm in San Francisco, and then on Monday had AIA, which was, and then coming up have ASA meeting. So been very busy trying to represent the district on many different levels. Just wanted to also congratulate the teams as they continue. They're almost through their season. We have the sectionals tomorrow that we'll be hosting at Rio High School. So if you're available, it's always a great event to see all the sectional teams and knock on wood, we're hopefully gonna have the boys championship, but we'll see. We're right in the mix.
Cross country?
Cross country.
Cross country.
For that.
Subject D, governing board members report. Vasquez.
I just, well, the principals aren't here, but I just want to thank them for all of their, for the principal report. I always enjoy looking at the students and some of the new, events and new programs that are coming out. There's several new clubs that are coming out, from the middle schools and stuff. And I always think that that's really cool, what they do with that. And congratulations to Mr. Verdugo for all of his hard work that he does. Thank you for everything you do for our students, for our community, for our district. Thank everybody for everything that they do, and just let's keep going.
Mr. Kramer.
Yeah, thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you guys for attending the the 5 of us
Five of us.
for the ASBA. Robert unanimously got elected to represent Santa Cruz County again, which was something that we pushed 2 years ago, certainly. It's all good on that. Number 1 is a mirror. I heard that on the way out. Good job, Brad.
Thank you.
Right? Wasn't that the game that we were playing?
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, there were some things there that obviously ASB is there to tell us all this good stuff, what they are and this and that and this. So, but I mean, at least they've hopefully changed and we'll see some more in December, right? Other than that, yes, congratulations to all the principals on first 9 weeks. Now we're starting the second 9 weeks and rolling. All right, good job. Thank you.
Mr. Ramirez.
For the sake of these fine people here, I pass the baton on to you.
All right. Let's see, Mr. Verdugo, congratulations on your award. Super proud of you. Yep.
Very proud.
There will be a ribbon cutting ceremony at the Educational Agricultural Center at 4:30 on Monday, the 28th. I think we're all invited. I'm inviting all you guys, right, Jimmy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, should be fun.
Light music, refreshments.
Got all the powers in.
Papa John?
That's it. And Nogales Bike Classic is this Saturday. We always have some principals handing out water and stuff, so hopefully we'll see maybe John riding in it. I'm not sure.
I usually drive my truck.
Yeah.
I follow the bicycles.
He was actually followed the 100 milers or the 80s. Yeah, so.
Hey, you rode with me from Rio Rico to Chubaca and back, and you made it, you did it.
Hope to see a lot of educators out there supporting it. Other than that, that's all I got. So let's move on.
Mhm.
5, information, discussion, action. Number 2, subject A, Santa Cruz Valley Unified School District policies.
No policies tonight to discuss. I just wanted to let the board know that we had some procedure updates, and those are FYI. And so if there's any questions that load those and email me. But it's just procedures that are not needed to be approved by the board. They're just procedures that were FYI.
Okay. Subject B, goals and prioritize topics and possible dates and times for future board meetings. Mr. Verdugo?
Yeah, so the meetings are there, but I just added TSW back, so that we'll have that. So if there's any additional items that the board would.
Let's see, Ms. Vasquez,
No.
Mr. Kramer,
Oh, that's good.
Mr. Ramirez.
I was gonna say something, but for the sake of time and letting everybody go home, pass the baton on to you.
This meeting is now adjourned at 7:48.